So next is we're going to see about the viral diseases, or how is the virus mechanism, how is it acting, all that. Okay, as I told you, compared to all the types, virus is little difficult to treat because they have a special mechanism. What is that mechanism is that? See, normally, or how will they fight, how will the microbes fight? They will just fight face to face. But what will virus do? They'll get inside us and they'll get inside our immune cells and they'll make our own cells act against the our own cells. Okay, so that is how they work. Okay, so for example, most of the viruses will have RNA as a genome. So this RNA, okay, for example, this is the bacterial cell which is affecting. Okay, so this viral RNA, this is your bacterial DNA. Okay, it will enter inside and it will not fight like this. What will it do is, this viral genome gets integrated with the bacterial genome. Okay, so this viral DNA gets integrated with the bacterial DNA. So now what happens? This DNA will act in the favor of virus. So virus will start acting in the favor, this genome, that is your bacteria plus viral genome, will act in the favor of virus. Okay, and this genome will start producing multiple copies of your viral particles like this. So it is making the bacteria do its work by integrating in its genome. Okay, so it has got a special enzyme called as reverse transcriptase. So reverse transcriptase is the enzyme which can produce DNA from RNA. Normally RNA, see, transcription is that you have DNA, you have mRNA. So this is transcription, correct? Whereas here the RNA, that is your viral RNA, is producing your DNA. Okay, so this is reversing the transcription. So the enzyme is called as reverse transcriptase. So that is why viral diseases are little difficult to treat, and there is no strong, anything to fight against the virus, because they find shelter inside our cells. So if you destroy virus, you're destroying your own cells. Okay, so that is a problem with the virus, and that is why viruses are different. See, some cycle after, see, virus is infecting, the genome is entering, integrating, producing the copies. In some cases, it might burst open immediately and it might release the viral particle outside. So the infection is immediate. So this kind of immediate infection is called as lytic cycle. But in some cases, this will remain as such for years and years. And suddenly, some other time, it will burst open and release the viruses. Okay. So it will incubate itself for years and years, and suddenly it will start releasing the particles. And that kind of incubating phase is called as lysogenic cycle. In lytic cycle, there will be an immediate opening and release. Whereas in lysogenic, there will be more of incubation. It will take its own time to cause disease. AIDS undergoes lysogenic cycle. Okay, fine. So this is all about your viruses. So viruses are very small particles. Okay, so compared to all four categories, viruses are the smallest. Okay, and your viruses, okay, the speciality of viruses is they are dead outside and they live inside the cells. Okay, so they form a link between your living and non-living matter. Okay, so the viruses are the strong link between the living world and the non-living world. Okay, next is that viruses, okay, virus is the complete one. Then viroids are the viral particle with DNA. It's not a complete virus, but viral particles with the DNA, it's called as, the subdivision of virus is viroid. Okay. Then you have something called as prions. Prions are only the proton head. Okay. The proteinaceous head of viral particles which can cause infection is nothing but the prions, but there is no DNA. Okay. So these are all the terms. And how can you treat the viral diseases is by using interferons. So interferons are antiviral and they help in fighting against some of your, you have to dump your body with a lot of interferons to fight against a viral disease. Okay. Now, what are the examples? Okay. To list out some of the examples of this viral diseases. Your common cold, rhinovirus, okay. Then common cold is a very basic one. AIDS, AIDS is caused by HIV. Common cold, AIDS, okay. Then your, okay. So some affects your neurological system, some affects your respiratory system. So accordingly it is all classified, okay. But generally these are all the diseases: common cold, AIDS, your cancer, polio, rabies. All these are viral disorders, okay. So common cold is caused by rhinovirus, AIDS, HIV. Cancer is again by your cancer is caused by your uh, the something which causes cancer is your carcinogenic agents. So cancer can be, the main cause for the cancer is mutation, okay. So what happens is, okay, let's see in detail about cancer. Then poliomyelitis, it is said that polio is now eradicated completely. And rabies is also called as hydrophobia, that is the fear of water, okay. So this is all about your then your hepatitis. Hepatitis, you have three types: A, B, sorry, four types: C and D. Hepatitis B is very harmful because the viruses will have DNA as a genetic material in them. So it is even more stronger and stable. So that is why hepatitis B is fatal. Okay. And the last one is about your protozoan diseases. I'm sure you must have learned of the malarial life cycle. Okay. So protozoans, they'll be clinging to your body. They'll not get inside your cells, but they'll be attacking your cells from outside. So protozoans are small worm-like structures like your Ascariasis, Elephantiasis. These two will infect mainly your lymphatic system. It will get accumulated in the lymph nodes. Okay, Ascariasis is the primary initial stage, but in Elephantiasis, what happens is that the worms, okay, they will see, mostly elephantiasis happens in the legs. Why can't we get elephantiasis in hand? Is that in the upper part of the body, which is close to your heart, the circulation is more. So the worm cannot stay in a place and grow, and it cannot enjoy because it is continuously moving. But in the lower parts of the body, the movement, the circulation is less. So that is why they'll start accumulating in the lower parts of the body. And elephantiasis, it also affects your genital organs. Okay. So that is all about the protozoan disease. Malaria, you know the life cycle. It is caused by Plasmodium vivax. Okay. So Plasmodium is a protozoan. It is transferred by a female Anopheles mosquito. So in malarial life cycle, a substance called as hemozoin. Hemozoin is released, which indicates the which will only, after the release of hemozoin only, there will be a occurrence of fever. Till then you will not find any symptoms. Okay. So what happens, I'll just roughly draw. Okay. So you have sporozoites. So sporozoites are stinged inside they are inserted inside the person from the mosquito. So sporozoites initially will be in the bloodstream, and then they'll find their way to your RBCs. In RBCs, what will they do? They will feed upon they'll feed on the that is hemoglobin. Okay. So, and they'll keep feeding on the hemoglobin, after which this might go and affect other RBC, or this might go on to next stage. Okay. So what happens here in the next stage is that they'll make their way to the liver. In liver, they'll start feeding upon the liver cells. So what happens as they feed? Okay, they will grow in size, they'll become larger, and they'll push aside the liver, the nucleus in the cell. Okay, so it will be like this. So this stage is called as Sison ring stage. Okay, so what happens here in RBC is that what happens, the cells, they'll grow inside. After that, they'll break open and release, correct? So when they are releasing the contents on undigested heme, okay, hemoglobin is digested, but heme is still undigested because heme is very tough. So this undigested heme will become a toxin and come out as hemozoin, the release of which will only start the occurrence of the fever. Later, they'll affect the liver cells, Sison ring stage. Then they'll become merozoites. And from merozoites, they'll differentiate. See, they're all the cells. Okay, these cells will break open, go affect the cells. So merozoites, then they'll differentiate into gametes. That is nothing but your micro and macrogamete. Microgamete is nothing but your sperm, and macro is your ovum. Okay, so microgametes are smaller and motile, whereas macrogametes are larger and immotile. Okay, so till here it happens in the human. The entire thing is in human. Okay, now what happens when uh, a normal mosquito sucks the blood of the human? Okay, in mosquito, both micro and macro gametes enter. Okay, gametes will enter. Now what happens? The gametes will undergo fertilization. And after fertilization, they'll form a zygote called as ookinete. Oocyst, ookinete, all these things. And from that, again, sporozoites are produced. So these sporozoites are present in the salivary gland of the mosquito. So again, when the mosquito bites, the sporozoites will enter the human. So it is not that only human is affected by the mosquito. Mosquitoes are also affected by the human. So it is, the cycle is like, it is like that. Okay. So if you see this, asexual reproduction happens in the human, whereas sexual, that is the fusion, will happen in the mosquito. Okay. And this is called as pre-erythrocytic cycle, then erythrocytic cycle, then post-erythrocytic cycle. Okay, so this is how this is what will happen in your malarial life cycle. Okay, so malaria is again, RBCs are mainly affected. Okay, now if you see this, a person having uh, this malaria, okay, they will not be, a person having sickle cell anemia in which your RBCs are affected, okay, that person will not, have any problem in getting malaria. See, if a person has got no good RBC, then he'll not be affected by malaria, because for malaria to proceed, you should have good RBCs. Okay, so that is all about the protozoan diseases. Now we are just going to see about two more diseases which is very important related to the virus, with which we'll be done with the topic.